Welcome to the Deep Investing Jungle with your host, Luke the Badger Hallard. And this week, no Christoph. Apologies, Christoph fans, monkey fans. The guy, his life is chaos right now. He's imminently moving to Sicily for the summer, escaping the horrendous heat of Austin, and everything's just gone sideways in the final few days before he flies. So this week you just have me, and this week I've really just got one headline topic. I want to tell you guys about Wise PLC and why it's in the news right now, because in literally the next couple of days it's going to be relisting into the US on the NASDAQ. That's quite exciting for Wise shareholders. I'll give you a few updates on some of the headline numbers and why I like this company, why this is a high conviction investment for me. But before we get there, we have got a bunch of really interesting stuff coming up on the podcast over the next month or two. And I thought I'd signpost some of the fun things that we've got in store for you. First of all, we are planning to do a full review of our King of the Jungle holdings. That's like 30 plus different companies that Christoph has bought, I've bought in the King of the Jungle. Plus, we've got some really interesting, unique names from our community, because we launched the community portfolio 6 months ago. So for each of these, we are going to go down the rabbit hole. We'll give you guys the headline 5-minute review, what the company is, why we like it, but we're also going to bull and bear debate with each other and hopefully rip apart the thesis. Because one of the most important things you can do as an investor when you own a company is really understand the bear case, what can go wrong. We'll be sharing that with you over a couple of episodes as we dive into all of those stocks. And of course, I'll be sharing the bear case on Wise with you guys today. We're also going to have a lot of fun. We're planning a crossover episode with the Shooting the Bull podcast. That's with Drowsy and Bear, good friends of ours from way, way back. I think we're going to have some fun with this one. I characterize these guys as being like a saner version of Christoph. So, and we've got a bunch of companies that we all own and we all know quite a lot about with some unique perspectives. So looking forward to that conversation when we record later in May and get it out to you guys on both the Shooting the Bull podcast and on Wall Street Wildlife. If you've not heard of Shooting the Bull, definitely endorse checking it out. We'll provide a link to their latest episode in our show notes for today. And we've been working on it for about 20 hours plus now. It's been all consuming through March and April, but we are planning a marathon, maybe 4+ hours episode in the spirit of the Acquired podcast, but we're going deep on AST Spacemobile. Christoph has done a crap ton of work on this one. I'm trying to support him by getting stuck into comparisons of ASTS and Starlink. Plus, we'll be looking at competing services, maybe from Rocket Lab in the future, but definitely also from Blue Origin. We're going to really understand the history, the story of ASTS. And of course, this is an investing podcast. We're going to give you our investing view grounded in that deep, long story. So really keen to get stuck in and, frankly, learn more about the company myself through the process of recording that one and finishing our prep for it. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's headline topic, well, only topic, which is Wise PLC. Now let's start with, I said the dual listing soon, but let's just start with an overview of who Wise are and what they do, just in case you're not familiar with them. So currently trading on the London Stock Exchange under ticker WISE, Wise. You can also buy it today in the US as an ADR, American Depository Receipt. And if you don't own this and you wanted to buy it right now before the dual listing, you could have bought WIZEY, Wisey. Now, what do they do? Simple case. Imagine you're in the UK and you want to send £500 to a friend in Australia or in the US. Maybe I have lost a bet to Christoph. I'm always losing bets to Christoph. So if you use a normal bank, they're going to charge you quite a lot of money in fees, a decent percentage, plus you're going to get a bad exchange rate on that trade, and it's going to take a long time. Like the correspondent banking system is not straightforward for some routes. So what Wise did, instead of that, they really completely reinvented the way money travels. Instead of sending your money around the world, they basically have pots of cash in bank accounts, frankly, in each of the countries they operate in. And when you send money from London to Austin, Wise simply adds your money to their UK pot, deducts money from the Austin pot, and then money goes out, money comes in. Nothing really travels internationally. And because that's so much cheaper and faster to run, Wise can charge tiny, tiny fees. Their take rate is now down to 51 basis points. So that means if I'm sending, say, £100, the cost of that to me is about 51p. And they give me the real exchange rate, like the mid rate. If you go Google, how many US dollars does £100 buy, and you see that number on Google, you're not going to get that number if you go to like a regular FX bureau, or even if you use your bricks and mortar bank, you're going to get a worse exchange rate. Wise give you that mid rate with the single transparent fee. And they make money on those fees, but they're hoping to reduce those to zero over time. But they also make money on when people use their debit cards abroad, and they make money on interest that they're holding, and the amount of the cash they're holding on their books is growing at an incredible rate. It's really a lot of money today. So they make quite a bit of money, which they share back with customers through an interest product from the balances held. Wise has three broad products. Wise, the consumer-facing version, Wise Business, which is the same thing for small and medium and large companies, and also Wise Platform, which is kind of a business as a service offering to other banks like Nubank and Morgan Stanley, where they want to offer low-cost, fast, efficient FX transfers to their own customers. So let's talk about the dual listing, and that's coming up in, as I record, in 6 days' time on the 11th of May 2026. At the moment, Wise is listing on the London Stock Exchange. It's going to flip its primary listing to the NASDAQ. This is actually the largest UK fintech to leave the London Stock Exchange. So it's big news. It's not great news for the UK, but there are benefits for Wise shareholders and for the company. If you're a Wise shareholder today and you own the UK listing, a share swap is going to happen around the 8th of May, and you're going to get an automatic one-for-one swap into Wise Group PLC shares. The London listing is going to remain as a secondary line in pounds. So if you've got this stock in your ISA or your SIP, like that's preserved, there's no CGT, there's no capital gains as a consequence of the swap. But post the transaction, you're going to own Jersey Incorporated and NASDAQ listed shares instead of the UK shares. And then something to watch in the future is from the next financial year, FY 2027, they're going to be reporting in dollars under US generally accepted accounting principles, US GAAP. So keep an eye on that because the numbers are going to change. Some things might look wonky or wrong, but it's just a different accounting basis. Fundamentally, the business, nothing's really changing. Let's drill into a couple of recent numbers now for Wise. And this is from their trading update on the 13th of April. Everything's looking pretty solid across the board. Quarterly cross-border volumes are up 27% on a constant currency basis to nearly £50 billion, with over 11 million active customers. So that's 22% more active customers year over year. Growth is good across all segments, and a key headline number for investors is underlying income, which is now £435 million in the latest quarter, up 24% year over year. And we mentioned that take rate, which is now down to 0.51%, 51 pence on every £100. That's come down steadily from 67 basis points 2 years ago. And this is part of Wise's mission to eventually make money transfers free. They're targeting giving customers that dead midpoint, no FX with no fee. And if that sounds insane, perhaps it's not. Eventually free doesn't mean Wise is a charity and they don't make any money. It means that they're investing in giving customers, both business and personal customers, the best possible rate. And their strategy is to capture growth and capture market share, which we can see going in the right direction from the growth in both their business and personal customers. And as they grow all those segments, it's just going to be more opportunity to make more money on things like debit card purchases, on things like interest income on the balances they hold in Wise accounts, both personal and business Wise accounts. So I really like the business model. It makes sense. If we drill into the more detailed the reporting they gave us at the end of first half 2026, we can see that administrative expenses were up 27% year over year. Now, part of that is costs related to preparing for the dual listing, but a big chunk of that rise in costs is headcount. The company's added over 1,000 new staff just in the first half of H1, and they're trying to do that because they're increasing their serving capacity for customers as the number of customers grow. They're trying to improve service levels, so basically answer calls and respond to customer queries faster and with higher quality. Also, regulatory headcount, having a presence in so many countries is complicated and is expensive. Plus, they're investing in AI tooling to try and make their organization more efficient. The company's guiding to full year costs of £1 billion in admin expenses, of which about 35 million are going to be related to the dual listing. So you've got this bull and bear tension with this investment. You're investing into a compounding moat, or perhaps has cost growth caught up with revenue growth. I think it's the former. Now, before we come on to bear case, let's talk about the valuation a little bit. Today, the company's trading at a market cap of £10.8 billion. And if we run a reverse discounted cash flow model with the details numbers they shared in the last half-year trading update, with a discount rate of 10%, which I think is reasonable for Wise, the company needs to generate 10.6% free cash flow growth over the next 10 years. Now, free cash flow has gone fairly sideways, actually down a little bit in the most recent quarter, and that's because of this investment in growth and preparing for the future. But I think this is the right thing to do. And when you look at it alongside the dual listing plans, potentially the company is nearing an inflection point for growth where it's really going to start to increase its exposure with both US investors and US customers. Anecdotally, a bunch of my US friends from my ski season know about Wise. Some of them have their own Wise accounts where they travel internationally. And the company has a significant number of personal and business customers in the US. US now actually is larger than the UK on several headline metrics. But the real reason the company is relisting into the US from the UK is to drive a wider pool of investors and boost growth. The company's US listing is just going to get more exposure to shareholders that they believe share their long-term vision. And so they feel this is healthy. And as a long-time shareholder and personal and business customer, I agree. It's likely we'll see the company entering something like the Russell 1000 index, probably middle of 2027. We're probably not going to see it in the S&P 500 anytime soon, because you do have to have a US listing for some time for that to be considered, albeit maybe SpaceX shake the boat there. But when it does fold into some of these indexes, that will drive significant US institutional flow. And so that's likely to be a catalyst for share price appreciation. Now let's touch on the bear case for the company. And there's probably two factors here I think we should consider. I pitched that take rate trajectory currently 0.51% and coming down steadily over time with a target of getting to zero. I pitch that as a positive, but you could see that as a significant negative for the company too. They're cutting prices to widen their moat, and that's fine when volumes are growing. If volume growth decelerates, we're going to see a step change down in revenue growth without a corresponding step down in the cost base. This business model relies on volumes compounding faster than the take rate erodes. And maybe that we're not seeing that growth to the extent we would need in the near term. But maybe the bigger bear case concern is stablecoins, essentially cryptocurrency. I'm always getting this question when I talk about Wise. And definitely crypto and stablecoins in particular are becoming more established, more recognized in the US, particularly with the Genius Act that's recently passed the Senate. And stablecoins are on the up. Transfer volumes up 90% year over year. Wise is hiring stablecoin product leads, but they don't have a product yet. And really the bear argument here is that business to business cross-border transfers, where Wise has been winning with things like Wise Platform, is the wedge where stablecoin could beat them out. I don't think we should worry about stablecoin and crypto for consumer volumes. If a UK retail customer wants to send £500 to a friend in the States, the friend wants dollars in their bank account. They don't want USDC in a self-custody wallet. It's just too complicated for the majority of people that are going to want to do those kind of transfers. Wise balances are also safeguarded. They don't have FSCS protection, but there is something equivalent through safeguarding. And there's no such protection if you hold crypto or stable coins. This probably matters less to a crypto bull or crypto native, but it probably matters a lot to Wise's typical retail customer. And Wise is also fast. There was an argument that stable coins are faster, and that might have been true a couple of years ago, but it's largely false today for the majority of the corridors Wise operates in. So for retail customers, I don't think we're going to see any impact, but Wise Platform could be impacted, and Wise Platform is a foundational part of my bull case and the growth story for Wise long term. So what do you think? Are you a retail customer using Wise? Would you switch to using crypto instead of using Wise for your transfers? Let me know in the YouTube comments what you think about the relisting as well. Are you a US investor who's been waiting for Wise to come to the NASDAQ so you can invest? Well, I hope that was interesting. A quick update on one of my favorite highest conviction investments. I've held Wise and I've been a customer for nearly 4 years now, and this is a position I've added to gradually over time. Before we close today, just want to say a thank you to our Patreons and also to our partners at Fiscal.ai, our essential stock research platform. Fiscal are running an exciting 25% off sale starting this week, Thursday, May the 8th, and it's going to run for a week. If you sign up with our link, fiscal.ai/wildlife, you'll get 25% off any paid plan automatically applied at checkout. The company only runs 2 sales a year, one on Black Friday and one around a big product launch. And here comes their big product launch. They're just about to launch brokerage connections. So if you were feeling a bit disappointed with the portfolio management aspects on the dashboard of Fiscal AI, well, they're about to get a lot better. Much more sophisticated ways of tracking your own investments and starting to generate some really interesting reports so you can understand the size and shape of your own portfolio. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that, and you can too, again, by going to fiscal.ai/wildlife. Are you ready to become a beast of an investor? Your journey starts here.
A reminder that the people on this program may hold positions in the companies that are mentioned. Buying and selling stock carries financial risk, which could include loss of capital. The views in this program should not be taken as personalized advice. Before acting on any of the information provided, listeners are encouraged to consult a financial or tax professional.